Hello, this is Father Michael Nasser from St. Nicholas Orthodox Church here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, for this week's midweek reflection. And this week I'm reflecting on something that when I say to you what the topic is, you're probably thinking, I'm so sick of that topic. So let's see if that's true. And what I want to talk about is the topic of race and race relations and race in America. Was that right? Was that the first reaction? Or maybe the second? The reason I'm bringing this up because we're going to have a conference on this topic here at St. Nicholas this coming Saturday, 9 a.m. to 12 noon, open to anybody, no reservations needed. But when we talk about it, me and the 5 neighboring pastors that have been in a conversation about race for a long time now, a lot of us are getting the same reaction, like, oh boy, pastor, father, like, aren't we done? Is there still more to talk about? So 2 things I want to mention. One, the topic of this weekend gathering is not race. The topic is Christian views of relations between races, Christian views of racial tensions, and Christian views of all the different aspects that we've been talking a lot about the last couple of years in secular ways and in political ways. But how often have you had a really topic or a Christian orientation on the topic of race? I've even heard people talk about it saying that their perspective was Christian, but it sounded remarkably like the political and secular views that I've heard of so many times. So that's one thing, is we're going to look at it from a Christian point of view. What is our faith in Jesus Christ, in his teachings and his way and how he lived life and showed us how to live life? How does that change how we view that topic and how we live our life in terms of how we deal with people that are different from us? That's one aspect. The other aspect is, have you had that conversation with people of a different race than you? Surprisingly, the more people that tell me that, I'm done with that conversation, if I ask them if they're white, have you had that conversation with a black person? Well, no, and then they give me all kinds of excuses, and that's fine. Or a black person, have you had a conversation with white people? No. So we're going to bring people together, and it's because we are, as a group of pastors in this neighborhood, different Christian churches. We're of not only different faith backgrounds within Christianity, we are from different racial backgrounds. And so many people tell me they're sick of the topic, but they haven't talked about it or heard about it from somebody of another race. So, all that to say, we as Christians are followers of Christ. Christ was the one who became other. He was divine and became what he was not before, human. He took our human nature, became that. He incarnated himself as one of us. And then he communicated and spoke with and taught, interacted and touched and healed, all the things that he did. That's what Christians do. They take who they are and they enter the world of people who are other. Even if that other is not just a racial background, but maybe it's a political difference or even a political difference on the topic of race. But we don't just sit in our little corners and assume we know what everybody else believes and why their views are wrong and ours are right. Christians enter into and they listen, as we've talked about before. They take that proportion of 2 ears and 1 mouth and use them proportionally. So I hope if you're in the Grand Rapids area that you'll join us this Saturday, 9 a.m., and I hope you'll enter into a Christian, not only perspective, but a Christian action of talking about this very, very important topic of race in America, but from specifically the point of view as Christians, which means, how am I going to change? See, a Christian view doesn't say, how do you change someone else? It says, how do you change? Because of your faith in Jesus Christ. So we're going to be spending a couple hours on that this Saturday morning, and I hope you'll be here. And if not, at least I challenge you to consider that whatever topics you're sick of talking about, have you talked about them from a Christian point of view, and namely what that Christian view means for how you're going to change, not how you want other people to change. I hope you found this helpful, and if so, please share with your friends via social media, and God willing, we'll see you in next week's video.